Previously on Fire Emblem Engage.
You are the child of the Fell Dragon!
I am his child? No, but... how?
And now...
How dare you utter such slander, such lies?
If the dragon doesn't remember it, how the hell would you know anything? Were you there 1,000 years ago? I'll tell you how I figured it out. Divine and Fell Dragons can both summon emblems, right? But they don't do it the same way. Divine Dragons pray. Fell Dragons, though, they use invocations. That's how you summon Celica. That's how you've done it all along, isn't it?
Remember all the way back during Chapter 2 when Lumera was questioning how Aaliyah was able to summon Marth and express surprise when he told her how he did it? This is why. Also note that Lumera never used Provide For Us Emblem of the Holy War when she summoned Sigurd, whereas Sombron did when he got all the emblems in Chapter 10.
Which means you're, say it with me, the Fell Dragon's child.
But then... I don't understand. Why did Mother call me her child?
How should I know? You'll have to ask her. Oh, wait.
You blackguard!
Sticks and stones, buddy. Anyway, now I've got what I came for. Too bad it cost me a ring, but I was told to buy time, and I did. Lord Sombron and Lady Vale should be long gone by now.
You mean they were here after all?
Whoops. Didn't mean for that to slip out. Ah well, your Divine Dragon's a fraud. Take your time falling apart. Will you scatter to the winds? Cut each other's throats? So many options. See ya.
Halt!
I'm the Fell Dragons.
He was lying, Divine One. I don't believe a word of it.
We can't be divided by the enemy. We must be calm.
Saying Sombron isn't here may have been another attempt to mislead us.
Let's look around and make sure. Well?
This place is well and truly deserted.
Yes. Sombron is no longer in the castle.
What should we do now?
If what Gris said is true, I should leave.
What do you mean, leave?
The night Mother died, I had a nightmare where I was surrounded by flames. My hair and eyes were red. Now I see. It wasn't a nightmare. It was a memory.
One bad dream doesn't prove anything.
Maybe not. But this will. Emblem Sigurd.
I am here.
You knew me 1,000 years ago, didn't you? Answer this. Was Gris telling the truth? Am I the Fell Dragon's child?
You are.
Well, yep, no disbelieving Sigurd.
How can this be?
So it's true.
Also, Marth, back at the start of Chapter 3, he was a little vague when asked what Aaliyah was like 1,000 years ago. All he said was, you were a good person just as you are now.
I apologize. With your memories lost, we thought you could be happy living this way. That is what Lumera and I agreed upon the day you awoke.
Why did Mother call me her child?
Sombron had turned his back on you. Your life was in danger. Both you and Lumera wished above all else to be a family. That is the fullness of my knowledge.
That's plenty, Sigurd. Thank you. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm not a divine dragon. I never was.
You have nothing to apologize for.
Only a divine dragon could imprison Sombron as Mother did. What chance do we have now of surviving this war? Without such power, there's no hope of stopping Sombron.
Why would you assume you lack the power of a divine dragon? You have fell dragon blood, yes, but you forget your own abilities. Think back to Floroport, when my ring was returned and you summoned me.
But I used an invocation.
Emblem summoned through a fell dragon's power cannot communicate. Think back upon emblems summoned with the fell dragon's power. Could they speak?
No. When I called out to them, they didn't answer.
Please, explain further, Sir Sigurd.
A fell dragon's invocation robs an emblem of their free will. Their service is compulsory. With a prayer, the emblem keeps their free will. A divine dragon would wish nothing less. You use both invocation and prayer.
You mean... I do have the power of a divine dragon?
Precisely. Your hair and eyes prove the fact eloquently. At one time, both were red. The blue is proof that through Lumera's love, you have inherited a divine dragon's power.
It was a plot point all along.
Lumera shortened her life so that you could succeed her as the divine dragon.
And this explains why she died so easily to Vale's attack.
Mother.
We emblems fight alongside you of our own volition. We could only deepen our bonds with you because you have the power of a divine dragon. You are the one intended to carry on Lumera's legacy. Will you still leave after hearing this? Is that your wish?
No. I want to stay. I can't change that I'm the Fell Dragon's child. I know that. But I would like to continue on as the Divine Dragon. If you will have me.
Of course we will.
Oh, Alfred.
Sure, first we came to you because we needed your help. But now I care about you. Fell or Divine or whatever else. We need you. So no more talk about leaving us.
We'd never have made it this far without you. I will follow wherever you lead. If you have only half of your power, so be it. We'll make up for the other half.
What matters to me isn't how you were born. It's what you do with the life you're given.
Wow, I was already going to give that Mewtwo quote, but you basically paraphrased it.
If you choose to live as a divine dragon, then that's what you are.
Yeah, in the world of Elyos, Fell and Divine Dragon are really just labels rather than species.
Conflicted as I might be, I am made resolute by the terror I feel at losing you. Because, to me, you are the Divine Dragon. Your leaving would not change that bond.
Everyone agrees. After all, you are what connects them. You are, and always shall be, the Divine Dragon.
Thank you, everyone. There's much I don't know. I may have made choices in the past that I can't take back. But for now, I'll continue on this journey with you.
We emblems will follow you, completely of our own free will.
And yes, we get money! Yay! That's the real takeaway from this, right? So, welcome back to Fire Emblem Engage. Last time, Gris dropped the bombshell that was really obvious. It was pretty much clear for several chapters at this point. It was really more of a question of, what will Aaliyah think when Aaliyah finds out?
Spirit of the cards.
Also, every character on the map here... Okay, not all of them, but most of them, I think, have a unique comment now that we know the truth about Aaliyah.
Divine one!
So, there's a lot of kind of conflicting opinions on this plot twist, because, that's a nice way to... It's an interesting way to look at it, Amber. Because, yeah, one, it's very obvious, and two, Fire Emblem has done this twist before in the past.
That's true.
The whole, you know, Star Wars, I am your father kind of thing, the main villain is the main hero's dad. I do actually really like it, because like I said, it does kind of emphasize how Fell and Divine are really just labels in this universe. We've seen with Vale that Fell Dragons are not inherently evil. Sombron is only a villain because of his choices, not because of what he is. And I love the fact that Aaliyah is not a natural-born divine dragon. But just like Fagado says, your origins don't matter. It's your actions that define you. And everyone has just come to know Aaliyah for who he is. And the person he is someone they would follow. Heck, even if he didn't have any of Lumera's powers poured into him, I'm sure they'd still follow him because...
If I may.
Because of the bond they've built up. And that's actually another thing. We'll be seeing more about this in a moment.
Yes.
Because... We'll be seeing more about this in the next few chapters, because, part of why I like this twist, I won't really be able to talk about just yet, but it's more about the way that Lumera is handled, and the implications of that.
Hello.
And it does kind of take a lot of the edge off of, to me, Lumera's death, and that also being very obvious, because Lumera is...
Pardon me.
Gets posthumous character development. She's actually still very relevant, even in spite of dying so soon. That's a huge problem that I had with some of the deaths in, for example, Fire Emblem Fates and in Three Houses even. It just felt like people were so quick to forget them. They just didn't matter after they got that initial shock value. Lumera's presence is still felt, even long after she's died. And we'll definitely be seeing that as we move on, because the thing that I do really like is just a bit of a teaser of what's to come. I feel kind of bad now. I've used Lindon before, though. What's to come is that people might rag on this game for being all generic power, friendship, anime, blah, blah, blah. But I think it actually handles it quite well. Engage shows the value of genuine, like a genuine, healthy relationship, and just how that can change somebody when it comes to Aaliyah and Lumera. And also, it shows the reverse when it comes to Sombron, because the other thing that I actually really like is that, yes, Fire Emblem has done the main villain is the main hero's dad twist in the past. But it's never really explored, in my own words, just how much it would suck to have the main villain as your dad. We've already seen parts of it with, like, the whole dysfunctional family dynamic of the Four Hounds. And we've heard elements of how Sombron treats his children, but we'll gradually see more of that.
Divine Dragon.
Mavir, it's you.
I overheard your conversation about being Lord Sombron's child. If that is true, then I urge you to help Lady Vale.
What? You're not here to stop us?
All this time, Lady Vale has been sustained by a desire to meet her sibling. If she sees you, she will be saved. I know it.
I'd like to support her, like my friends here have supported me. Vale, the true Vale, has been a friend to us. But we don't know where she is.
She is traveling with Lord Sombron to the land of Lethos.
Lethos? But why?
You will have to trust me. I can explain on the way.
What do you think?
Let's go with him.
While it may seem dumb to trust an enemy like that, given how badly we've beaten him in our last few encounters, and like Aaliyah said at the start of chapter 20, it's many against one. If he wanted to kill us, he'd be dead long before he got the chance to even try. So, yeah, I think it's probably fine to have Mavir along for the ride for now. You know what, let's continue playing Dinner in Illusia just to celebrate Illusia being free at last, and Hortensia and Ivy being able to... Well, I mean, at least they've got a kingdom to go back to. Does look like someone's working that rock. Eventually, this rock does become a statue. Apparently, the flea market has new stock. What do you got? More steel ingots and silver ingots that are stupidly overpriced. Okay.
I'd be up.
Okay, we have the fern set available from the boutique, and the woolen set, and the youth set, which is basically just Joker in Hawaii. What I was actually here to do, though, is not to buy, but to change into Sigurd's outfit. Just because he was the one who,
Be well.
who told us the truth about Aaliyah, so let's pay tribute to that. I've got a lot of people whose levels I could top off, but let's go with Alcris first.
It's me, the Brodian prince who isn't Diamant.
I won't let this chance go to waste.
No, 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 no!
Sorry. Are you
My
hurt?
ship, why? Okay, well, I guess healthily sparring together did give you all the stats that I could have wanted on you. Oh, and pretty much all the stats I could have wanted on you apart from defense. Well, Louis got MVP last time, he kind of deserves it.
How satisfying.
Nope, he wasn't even able to level up because he ended up fighting Seedol. Okay, now in terms of emblem training, I might actually want to train up Yunaka and Tamara a little bit with Sigurd. Can at least get you to 5.
Having you here is the best, Sigurd. I'd say this calls for one of my signature songs!
That is a most, how to put this, unique way of welcoming me. Truly one of a kind.
Wow. Even emblems can't stand her singing. I mean, given that Sigurd and, like, a lot of other FE4 characters showed up in that, like, ballroom dancing thing, I'm pretty sure Sigurd's taste in music is pretty refined, so yeah. That makes sense. Okay, you're already at Bond 2 with Sigurd.
Zappy! How goes it, Sigurd? Ready to face the day? Show the world who's boss?
I have not the faintest idea what you mean, but I am in fine spirits if that is your question.
Sigurd is having his inner Ike brought out now. I guess Sigurd kind of inspired Hector, and then Hector inspired Ike.
My younger sister thinks me quite slovenly. I have tried to improve myself, alas.
If anything, you're too uptight. My dad traipses around the queendom without a worry. Try it.
Okay, wow, you have a dad? I didn't know that. That is actually kind of one thing that I've wanted to comment on lately. You only ever see one of all of the, like, sets of parents for all the royals. You either don't see the mother or don't see the father. And I kind of felt like that was part of this game's focus on platonic bonds over romantic ones. See, I have Celica back now, but it's weird because I'm kind of stuck on Byleth for Jean and Corrin for Clan, and Micaiah for Ivy, so I don't really know who's going to use Celica at this point. She does boost strength, as well as magic, so... Okay, this is weird. This is weird, but I feel like Anna is like my best potential Celica user right now. It would give Anna some access to tomes as a warrior as well. So, hey, why not?
I'm Celica. It's my pleasure.
Wow, it's been so long since I've heard Erica Lindbeck Celica.
In honor of meeting you, I'm holding a special sale today. I'm gonna rake in the cash.
Oh, what a cute little shop. You've gone to so much trouble that I have to have a look.
So Celica is one of the only ones who doesn't say, "Oh, you look familiar," to Anna, and that's because, as I've mentioned before, Gaiden is the only Fire Emblem game that does not have any Annas in it at all.
Hey, Anna. Sorry, Lady Anna. Did you find any leads on the location of your family?
No luck yet, but I'm not worried. I'm sure they're all doing fine.
Because, yeah, Celica hasn't found any leads in her world. Yeah, in fact, Gaiden is one of the only games that doesn't have an explicit Fire Emblem in it, because it's set in the same world as Marth's games, where there already was a Fire Emblem. I also just realized that by leveling Anna with Celica, we've given this child gremlin teleporting powers. What have we done? I can inherit Demolish on Seedol? Okay. That would be really silly. Well, I suppose Alcris can upgrade his Strength +1 to Strength +2. I have a total of 900 SP I can give people. Also, this is kind of massive favoritism, but it's not like, does that boost her Sandstorm chance, which she kind of needs? And Alcrest doesn't always need Luna, so I'll give that to you. But speaking of massive favoritism, I'm thinking that maybe I could get her to, like, Lance Power with this. And that's gonna lower her Avoid, but, might be worth it for +2 attack. Okay, thank you for reminding me about 100 experience points, because I need to buy a second seal for Alcrest. I'm just wondering how much of this money I should try sinking into donations and how much I should, because I'm going to need a lot of second seals to reset some levels once we hit level 20 on people. Oh, also, they are selling Entrap and Rescue and Recover. In fact, now that I have more gold, I'm going to top up my supply of utility staves.
I thank you.
Oh, I could definitely use more freeze.
I thank you. I thank you. I thank you.
I'll get 3 of those second seals for now.
Do come again.
The Armory also has new stock. I should probably show that while I'm here.
Well...
So, what have you got? You have... we can buy Brave Swords now. And Silver Blades. Can't buy Silver Great Lances just yet. Even though we can buy Silver Great Axes. Now we can buy a Brave Bow. We can also buy Excalibur now, Thoron and Bolganone. And the Pesh Carts. Along with the Flashing Fist art. So let's reset Alcrest. Congratulations, you have gone from a French sniper to a French sniper. Oh, and even though you're a bow using class, you can't use the Brave Bow, you need an A for that. But Brave Bow and Alcrest means lots of chances of Luna, so I should probably give that to him. And we have access to Celica's Engrave again, which gives a lot of critical avoid, lowers weight, but lowers might a little. Could buff up the Brave Bow a little. Hellfire +3 has 1 less weight, which Sean might appreciate.
Looking to try a new course?
Which would you like?
We now have access to the hard difficulty of Wyvern Ride, and I thought, while I go through this, because there are no new buyers in this part, even though there was some big story stuff, I want there to be at least one major gameplay feature talked about in every Somniel video, and this time, because of resetting Alcrest, and we've been doing a lot of that lately, I thought I'd talk about internal level, and by proxy, the way that skirmishes work. Internal level is, put simply, the total number of levels that a character has gained. So conceptually it's very simple, but the strict way that it works is whenever a character is changes class with either a Master Seal or a Second Seal, then their total gain levels are added to their internal level. So for example, if you upgraded class at level 20, then that would be 19 levels gained, and you would now have an internal level of 21. 19 plus level 1 in your new class. Then, if you went all the way up to level 20 in this advanced class, and then use a second seal to reset yourself to level 1, yeah, some of the targets here will change, and you'll have to hit them at the right time for the maximum benefit. Then you'll have an internal level of 40. Or will you? So the thing about internal level is that it's actually capped at 30 for normal mode, 40 for hard mode, and 50 for maddening mode. Why is it that having a low internal level cap is a good thing? Well, that's because internal level affects the experience that you gain from battle. So having a lower internal level means that you get experience a lot faster, and it means that on the lower difficulties, it being capped at 30 means that, yeah, you can promote at level 10, and then go up to level 20 promoted, and you will be at your internal level cap. So you won't need to worry about any further leveling reducing the experience that you get, whereas on Maddening, it takes all the way until level, internal level 50 before you're level capped, and at that point you barely get experience at all. Now, characters who start out in a promoted class have a set internal level. Vander starts out at internal level 15, for example, and that's why he levels up so slowly in the beginning. So, aside from affecting experience,
Just what I'd expect from the Divine One.
That was a little late, I felt. A bit delayed.
Until next time.
Yeah, still some basic items. But it also affects the level of skirmishes and the divine paralogs from the DLC. So I'll go to the world map to demonstrate this, as I'll also talk about the spawning conditions for skirmishes and all of that. Don't worry, I will do supports, but our next main chapter is in Lethos, and since we just got Celica, we've unlocked Celica's paralog. But as you can see, skirmishes are appearing all over the... well, only one skirmish appeared. But if we go to a skirmish here, it's going to tell us the recommended level. It's going to say here, recommended advanced class level 11. Now, this is going to be the level of the enemies in this skirmish, and the boss is going to be 5 levels higher. So, how does this work? Well, it's based on the number of deployment slots that you have. So, for example, if I was to begin... I'm not going to actually do this skirmish, I'm going to quit out of this. But if I was to begin skirmish here, unit selection, we can deploy 12 units. This means that the level of the enemies in this skirmish is going to be based on the average level of the 12 highest internal levels across my army, which happens to be advanced class level 11, and I'm not sure if that means level 33 or level 23. It's probably 33, because I'm not sure if that advanced class assumes promoting at level 20 or not. It probably does. Now, I said much earlier in the playthrough that Vanda's level, mercifully, doesn't count towards your army's average for the purposes of skirmish scaling. That wasn't entirely true. So, until you have 4 promoted characters in total in your army, including Vanda, then Vanda's level doesn't count. But once you do have 4 promoted characters, even if you reclass them down to unpromoted classes later, Vanda will always count towards your army's average internal level, if he's among the top highest. Which at this point in my playthrough, he definitely isn't. Sometimes in skirmishes though, depending on your donation level with a country, you'll see Silver Corrupted. In a metallic form, rare but gives extra experience. There's also Gold Corrupted, and they give extra money. Silver Corrupted and Gold Corrupted spawn at the following rates according to... well actually, they have a slightly different spawn rate for every country. It seems like Gold Corrupted are more common in Firene, Silver are more common in Brodia. Illusia has a very high spawn rate for Gold Corrupted, but a fixed 20% rate for Silver Corrupted, and Solm was the reverse, higher rate for Silver Corrupted, lower for Gold Corrupted. Skirmishes in Divine Paralog, which actually don't obey the usual level scaling, have a 100% of chance of Silver Corrupted and a 0% chance of Gold Corrupted. Conversely, Fel Xenologue skirmishes are always Gold Corrupted and never Silver Corrupted. Also, the number of Gold and Silver Corrupted on a map depends on donation level. But at donation level 5 and in the post-game, there is a 0.01% chance that every enemy on the map will be a Silver or Gold Corrupted. Please show me screenshots if you've ever seen that happen, because that's an incredibly low rate. Now, when do skirmishes spawn, and how many skirmishes will there be on a map? Well, I'm glad you hypothetically asked. The way this works is that there are 4 different conditions that can cause a skirmish to spawn. Time passing in hours, and this is real time, completing a chapter, paralog, or xenologue, the xenologue's a DLC by the way, completing a relay trial or outrealm trial, or playing strength training, wyvern ride, or fishing minigames. And depending on the difficulty, you'll get different spawns based on these. Also, the total number of skirmishes that can be on the map at any one time, that's actually dependent on where you are in the story. But the important thing to note is that on Maddening mode, until the post-game, the only way to spawn skirmishes is to fight in 7 chapters or paralogs. So that explains why skirmishes on Maddening are so rare. They also tend to be brutally difficult on Maddening, so they're not a hugely useful form of gaining experience there. And that is everything I wanted to explain about skirmishes. Now it's time for supports. Firstly though, Clan has to get to his full bond with Corrin.
I'm always with you, but I still haven't seen you turn into a dragon. Could you do it right now?
I can't fully transform now, just alter parts of my body. I'm sorry to disappoint.
No, I'm sorry for making a selfish request. I wanted to know more about my new friend.
I'm glad you consider us friends. Oh, I've never asked. Do you turn into anything?
Well, that's weird. Well, I mean, he's turned into a good unit this playthrough. I'd say that's an amazing transformation. I'm so sorry, Clan. I cannot believe that Clan has just done so well for me. But okay, we've got quite a lot of supports to go over, and yeah, it only took one meal to get a C with Saphir, and I don't think I've ever seen this one before.
Thank you for sparring with me, Saphir.
No problem. Always a pleasure to find an opponent who can help me work up a sweat.
Glad to hear it, since I barely kept up. I see now why Brodia holds you in such high regard.
Don't be too modest. You're good, and you've got lots of room to grow. Strength, skill, speed. You're full of potential. Keep training. You'll see.
Well, skill is called Dex in this game.
Maybe. But what I really envy is your intensity. The way you press the attack, it's relentless.
Well, what would you expect from somebody who already starts with the merciless skill?
Do you think I've got the potential to be as ferocious a fighter as you are?
That's...
Saphir?
Sorry. Listen, you'd be better off not modeling your fighting style too much after mine. Ferocity doesn't suit you. You're too kind a person for it. Just be yourself, and hang on tight to that kindness. Don't let it go.
I understand, Saphir. Thank you.
According to her quotes in the arena, she used to be a mercenary. I don't actually know much about that since I haven't really seriously used Saphir. But I have just got her support with Lindon, which I've heard is quite good. For that though, more Aaliyah supports.
Spirit of the cards, moon and stars above, cast your divine light and answer me.
Seadoll? What is he trying to divine with such desperation?
I beg you to tell me. Will this food offer the perfect fuel for my dance? I yearn for more than merely food. I crave the savory. Please, spirit of the cards. That was not the answer I wanted.
Let me guess, you drew a card with a middle finger on it, again?
He's not acting like he did before. Not at all. Please, calm down, Seadoll.
Divine One.
I don't know what this is about, but this isn't like you at all. Crave the savory?
Are you trying to tell me that eating this will provide the perfect fuel for my dance? It's dough fried in butter and then bathed in an oil sauce. And it's incredibly delicious.
Oh, I had one of those. It was delicious, all right. I'd think it'd be extra fuel for your dance.
Are you making that up?
Well...
Or just guessing? I'll need to consult the cards for the real answer.
I mean, I think I do know. You're doing all that dancing. It's got to be good fuel. And tasty, too.
You don't understand. A dancer of my caliber must be disciplined. On the battlefield, I must inspire all with my perfect dancing. So I must eat only perfect food. If I'm careless, if my dancing suffers and someone dies, I can't allow that.
Well, that went weirdly dark.
Seadoll, I'm sorry.
Now, I must retreat to the fortune shop, and to a meal that is not fried.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people seem to have iffy thoughts on Seadoll. It might be just because they get his Aaliyah supports, because his supports with people like Alchrist and Yunaka are really good.
Thanks, Divine One. You really saved my bacon.
Oh right, these are the Fighting Bandit supports. I was wondering if these were going to involve singing or not.
I was happy to help. I will say, I wasn't expecting our picnic to turn into a two-person raid on the bandits' hideout.
Really? That's how most of my picnics go, to be honest.
That explains so much about you.
When you invited me, you said we'd be eating meat together.
And I was telling the truth. You got a nice big helping, right?
Yes, I was stuffed. I only wish you had said something like, I've found the bandits' camp, so let's barge in, take them out, and then grill up some meat. That would have been more, you know, accurate.
So wordy, though. My way was much more concise.
That's one way to look at it. Still, you never cease to amaze. You take it upon yourself to help root out bandits.
Again, another reference to Crom shepherds in Awakening.
What, is that not normal? I'm just protecting my people. I thought that's what royalty was supposed to do.
You know, maybe you should talk to Celine about this, because she also has issues with this kind of thing.
You say something completely radical, like it's the most obvious thing in the world.
That's my charm.
And that's another way to sum up Tamara. And well, that's the end of support. Now that I think about it, I probably do need to get Aaliyah. I think it's Aaliyah and Celine supports. I think I do need to get them higher. Okay, I have got them to a C. I'm probably going to need to spam gifts, actually, because Celine gets interesting in her higher support with, and I'm pretty sure it is Aaliyah. Now, I specifically went for this one in activities because I remember this being pretty good.
Hello, Jean. You are an aspiring doctor, yes? Would you come here a moment?
Huh? Yes, I'm studying to be a doctor. Why?
You seem uneasy. Have I startled you? If so, please accept my apology. The last thing I would ever wish to do is impart fear. Shall I try starting over and greeting you again? Would it help if I sat down?
No, that's okay.
Very well. Then please come here a moment. I would like to get your opinion.
My opinion on what?
These medicines I've made. Look here. I call this one the Azure Elixir.
It wasn't localized for years, but then it finally was, thanks to the geofronts.
Azure Elixir? What does it do?
It settles painful pounding within the skull, provides the tranquility of an azure sky.
Oh, so it's a headache remedy.
Indeed. And this is the Crimson Tincture. Apply it to end the red fury of damaged skin.
In other words, an ointment. Azure Elixir and Crimson Tincture, huh? That all sounds kind of pretentious.
What was that? I did not hear you.
Nothing, just talking to myself. These are amazing, though. You did good work here. You must be a skilled doctor.
I learned the techniques from my mother, who was a trained physician.
Okay, this is probably why I remember it being good.
In any case, if these are satisfactory, then I would like to leave them with you.
Thank you very much for the medicine, Zelkov. You're an unexpectedly good person.
That's, I mean, the unexpectedly part's a little unnecessary, but it is kind of how I feel about him, and that's why I wanted to show at least one of his supports. The thing with Zelkov, though, is like his emphasis on words. Some of his crit lines are in French, which makes me think that Zelkov is maybe implied to not be a native English speaker? Oh no. Oh no. No, I see where this is going.
What do you think, Princess Ivy? Does the sight of a pleasant gathering prompt any feelings?
No, nothing.
How strange. I, for my part, find great comfort in their mundane joys and idle chatter.
It would seem that phenomenon is unique to you.
Oh? What a pity.
Was that the full extent of your plan? Did you actually pin all your hopes on this sight, inspiring me to chat?
No, I haven't quite given up. Though I don't as yet have any other ideas. Until I do, would you like a cup of tea? I'll put on a pot of the black tea blend I've been saving.
Tea does sound lovely, actually. Thank you.
Aha!
What? What is it?
I thought I detected the faintest hint of a smile just now.
Did you?
Can I take it then that you like black tea?
Yes. But if I happen to seem pleased, that was not the reason. I simply find your dedication to these efforts rather amusing.
There's nothing so amusing about it. A princess's joy is a radiant thing. Ah, was that another smile?
Oh, enough. You promised me tea. Let's have it.
As you wish, Princess Ivy.
Yeah, it's like two of the most overly polite sounding characters having a conversation here. And yeah, this one might be more Seedol backstory.
That's amazing. Wolf jousting sounds like a thrilling sport to witness.
Wait, if you're both like Lance Wolf Knights with Rider's Banes, it probably ends the moment somebody lands a hit, which is honestly kind of the point of jousting.
That it is. But the fights out in the crowd? That's where you'll find the real action. There are plenty of ways to amuse oneself in Somme, but nothing is quite like the Wolf Arena.
So many stories. What a fascinating life you've led, Seedol. Your descriptions are so vivid. I feel as if I've witnessed it all with my own eyes. The caravan lifestyle sounds like so much fun. Coming and going as you please, following your own whims and curiosities all over the world. No restrictions, no cares. And if you ever grow bored, you can just set off on another journey. I wish I could have that life.
Yes, well...
There's one story you haven't told yet. When did you first join the caravan? I bet you were born into it. Am I close?
No. I was born in a town by the sea. It was... beautiful. I was so young when my father died, I have no memories of him. My mother raised me. She was a fortune teller, but an ill-fated one. She got sick and died when I was young. One thing led to another. Before long, I was living on the streets.
On the streets? But why?
I was a child without a family. Where else would I live?
Oh.
But one day, a caravan was passing by. The travelers called to me, invited me to join them, and I did. I traveled with them from that day on. Speaking was difficult for me then. Words were hard. So my teacher taught me to dance. I learned that I didn't need words to communicate. That saved me.
I see.
My apologies. That story is not so amusing as the others.
Please, I'm the one who should apologize. I didn't think before broaching the subject.
No, I've darkened the mood. I'm sorry. I think this is a good place to stop for now. Another time, Prince Alchrist.
Wow, a support with Alchrist, and it's the other person who's saying they darken the mood and apologizing? But yeah, it's just, I do like how you get Seedol's backstory through that, and the fact that he grew up on the streets. Speaking of backstory, the reason why I went for this support is I've heard it's one of the rare times that the Brodian siblings' mother is mentioned.
All right, great hunting today. Well done. Couldn't have brought in nearly this much if not for you, Prince Alchrist. Thanks for coming.
Did Alchrist finally get revenge on the wolf that attacked him in the Aaliyah Sea support?
Oh, but I barely helped. This is mostly your handiwork, Saphir.
Humble as ever, I see. Now that we're good on meat for a while, I think it's going to be fishing next time. Care to join me?
Me? I don't have much experience with fishing.
You'll be fine. I'll show you how it's done.
Isn't the fishing theme in this game called, like, Brodians are especially robust fishers or something?
I'd feel bad for the fish. Imagine getting yanked out of the water by someone as useless as me.
Pretty sure the last thing a fish cares about is who's doing the catching. You'll be fine.
I also doubt I'll catch anything. Any bait I offer is bound to be inferior, not worth a nibble.
Nonsense! Stick with me and I promise you'll get plenty. But the real fun comes when I show you how to cook them.
You'll teach me how to cook fish? Really? In that case, perhaps I will give it a try.
That's what I like to hear. Consider yourself invited next time I head out.
Yes, please. Thank you, Saphir.
So, a legendary female warrior of her kingdom cooking fish. Let's hope this goes better than it did with Morag and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. If you know, you know. Wow, these two are at A already?
Princess Tamara, camping was a valuable life experience. Thank you.
Valuable in the sense that it's showed you that's definitely not for you and you never want to do it again.
You're welcome. So tell me, did you find any weaknesses?
You saw right through me.
Of course. I'm a princess too, aren't I? I was thinking the same thing. One day, when we're queens, knowing one another's weaknesses could give us an edge.
That is indeed why I decided to go along. In the end, however, The only weakness revealed was my own.
Yup. Starts with G and rhymes with roasts.
And all I learned about you is that we are even less alike than I'd supposed. I am left with only a longer list of ways in which we're opposites. You like meat? I prefer vegetables.
I love singing, but you're shy about doing it in front of other people.
I prefer to spend my time in study. You would rather spend it running through the hills.
We really are opposites, huh?
Yes. But despite that, I did appreciate our time together.
Same, honestly. I had a great time.
Differences can be a source of conflict, but they can also elevate discussion. I believe our conversations will ultimately make me a better leader to my people.
Me too. I hope we can keep being friends.
Friendship is based on reciprocity. You owe me one weakness.
Hate to do it, but I guess you painted me into a corner.
I jest. I would like us to be on good terms, Princess Tamara. Let our friendship set the standard for the relations between our countries.
Agreed. Here's to a long, ghost-free friendship.
In my head, I was immediately thinking like of this as right way for heads of countries to meet. Wrong way for heads of countries to meet.
Kill every last one of them.
But yeah, it is nice that these two get to hang out and be friends before they become leaders of their respective countries. But I mean, it's not like it's going to be ominous foreshadowing for the Fel's Interlogue DLC or anything. No, don't think about that at all. And now I have more support with Ivy, including with Zelkov and with Hortensia. Now, the reason why I went for Ivy and Hortensia is this might reveal some of their backstory regarding their parents.
Hortensia.
Something on your mind, Ivy? Or are you just here to admire my pretty face?
I'm just happy.
I also just realized Hortensia and Ivy don't really get to interact a whole ton in the main story, aside from the point where Hortensia's brainwashed.
We've been through so much, but we're finally together again. You're my only family now. I want you to know that you are important to me.
Guess it's a relief to hear a half-sister counts as family.
So, yep, here's the backstory.
That has never mattered to me. I have always thought of you as my sister, and you are all the family I need.
Yeah, well, no need to make it awkward. But I feel the same way, so thanks.
You have your mother's smile. In fact, you seem to resemble her more and more each day.
You think so? I'm flattered. I'm really glad. It's only thanks to her I get to call you my sister in the first place. I don't mean to dig all that up. I'm not holding a grudge or anything.
I know. Even so, it is because of my mother that you...
Oh, you know what? I just remembered something I gotta do somewhere. Sorry, Ivy. Talk later.
I'm sorry, Hortensia.
I guess I have to get the B then. But what's going on is essentially similar to the backstory of the Norian siblings in Fates, if you know about that.
What is the meaning of this sound, Princess Ivy?
Just a headache.
I hope you are not overworking yourself.
I'm fine. And there is no need to pretend you care. I know you are not fond of me.
Let me make this absolutely clear. My concern for your well-being is genuine. It is, after all, my responsibility. Yet, for some reason, it concerns you whether I have fond feelings toward you. So allow me to state it plainly. I do not have fond feelings toward you, Princess Ivy. I see such things as irrelevant. Whatever my sentiments may be, what matters is that you have my obedience.
What a curious thing for my own retainer to say. But that's a relief. I don't like you either.
I will obey you regardless.
So good to hear.
So, Ivy's not in a great relationship with either of her retainers. That's kind of interesting. And now, Lindon and Saphir. Again, I was told this support chain is good.
Excuse me, Lindon. Do you mind if I ask you a bit of an odd question?
Ask away, Saphir.
Well, Actually, never mind. Forget I said anything.
You seemed quite solemn about it. Whatever it was, there was pain there as well. As though something weighs heavily on your heart. I think you should go ahead and come out with it.
Okay. About 30 years ago, you'd already begun your career as a soldier of Elusia, right?
Indeed I had. I joined as a royal soldier almost immediately upon graduating Elusia's National Academy.
You must have taken part in campaigns against Brodia around that time then.
Yes. Yes, I did.
If I were to name a town or a village in Brodia, would you remember if... No, this is inappropriate. I shouldn't be asking.
Saphir,
I'm sorry to bother you. I hope I didn't offend.
Well now, this bears some looking into.
Does for me too. I am definitely getting their B now. People were right. That one already seems really good. Okay. I just did an activity at the pool and they've already got the B, and I'm gonna break tradition and do this right now, just because I'm curious.
Saphir, may I speak to you for a moment?
I feel like they made the late joiners have a very fast support rate with people. That'd make sense, just to guarantee that you'd be able to see some of their supports before the game was over.
Of course, Lindon. What is it?
Your guess that I was an Elusian soldier about 30 years ago was correct. That said, my tour of duty never brought me to any rural fishing villages.
You looked into this. Into where I'm from.
Indeed.
All right, I'll say it. Elusia attacked my home village 30 years ago. A lot of folks were killed. My parents included. It's not that I'm on a revenge quest or anything. I haven't been searching for their killers. But if you were a soldier in Elusia at that time, I couldn't help but wonder.
No, your suspicions are only natural. I would wonder the same thing in your shoes.
I still shouldn't have asked. We're on the same side now. There's no need to dig this up.
If you want to hate me, Saphir, you have the right. Even if you wanted me dead, I'd allow it if it would ease your pain.
What? Why would you say that?
Because I mean it. I may not have done any harm to your parents personally, but I was a soldier in that war. I can easily see a world in which it was I who ended your parents' lives. I am a man long past his prime. I'd happily go to my end if it would bring you relief. And although words can change nothing now, I do apologize. I am truly, profoundly sorry.
I can't do this. Excuse me.
Oh dear.
Yeah, this is up there with Fram and Diamant among my favorite supports from this game. So yeah, thank you whoever recommended that to me in the comments. Thank you so much, because I'm so glad I saw those. Next time, we're not going to be heading out just yet, but I actually think I'm only going to do one paralogue before the next set of chapters, because important to note is, the next set of chapters are very similar to chapters 10 and 11. You are forced to do them in sequence. And so I think, while I could do this one, which has a pretty high recommended level, I could also do Micaiah's paralogue. I think it's about time we did what is, in my opinion, the hardest paralogue in the game.